Welcome into another edition of Big Z Sports 2-A-Day. Today we are in Sugar Creek on the hill with the Garaway Pirates. Joe Geckler, Adam Soweski. Thanks to Harrison Auto Parts here in Sugar Creek, your local Napa Auto Parts store. Joe Geckler again, Adam Soweski. And Adam, obviously 2-A-Day's rolling on here. We're getting to the end of it, but we are on the hill in Sugar Creek today with the Garaway Pirates. They were 7-2 last year. The two losses, a regional final team, and the eventual state champion. So a really good year for the Garaway Pirates. They lost some talent, but they have a lot of talent coming back.
Absolutely, and this is another stop on the tour that, they have that tradition. They have that successful tradition where you can always expect good things from the Garaway Pirates, and it just shows last year with those two losses that they had. Two great teams, as you mentioned, state championship Kirtland, and our regional final from the other. It speaks volume for the type of program the Garaway Pirates have built out here.
Absolutely, and a big thanks also to Claxton Communications for following us around on our 2-A-Days all summer this year, and we appreciate what Casey does for us here at Big Z Sports.
Yes, you're right. It's great to have Casey on board with us this year, and we have exciting things for all the Big Z Sports fans for this coming season.
And now it's time to welcome in Garaway head football coach Jason Wallach. And Coach, 21 seasons. This is your 21st season here at Garaway, and it can't get much better than every summer you come out here, you get 2-A-Days going, you get practice going ready for the fall, and it's got to be fun to get a bunch of fresh new faces out here. You got a freshman class, you lost some seniors. Talk about last year's team. You were 7-2. You lost to a regional final team in the regular season. You lost to the eventual state champions in the playoffs. Talk about your season last year.
Yeah, just the uncertainty coming in. Nobody really knew what to expect. We're going to get to play, not get to play. So this year it's nice to know that at least as of right now, things are somewhat back to normal, at least normal schedule-wise. And then we were led by a very good senior class last year that had us ready to go in the short amount of time that we had, and played very well. But obviously there's two games that we'd like to have back, but like you already mentioned, we got beat by a regional final team and a state champion. So great experience for our young guys, and just overall, we're just ready to go and excited to be back out here.
When you play teams like that, Coach, a regional champion, a regional final team, and a state champion, what does that do for your program, for the competition level that you face?
I just think it gives you a really good perspective of where your program's at. And, I thought we played really well against Kirtland last year in the first half. And then, some things went south with some special teams mishaps. But it's a really good measuring stick for us. It does. It goes a long way. It encourages your kids to work in the off-season. We had a great off-season, 6 a.m. workouts and great turnouts all year long. And, we're just really excited to be back out on the field and playing some football.
In 2020, you lost a lot of talent here at Garaway, some of the best talent you've had in a long time here on the hill. One name comes to mind for me. We'll miss him. The video game, Garrett Newsom is gone. He graduated. Several others, Jaden Miller, Zach Bickford, to name a few. You lost a great senior class. Talk about those guys one last time.
Yeah, those guys had a great career here. And, like you said, Garrett, Zach, Jaden, Luke Miller, the list goes on. Of a really good senior class that played really well, and those guys will be missed. But we got some kids with some really good experience last year. Got some valuable game time last year, and that I think are ready to go. But it's hard to replace those guys. Obviously, Garrett being a dual threat quarterback, Jaden Miller, one of your all-time leading receivers, Zach Bickford, just Mr. Do Everything, offensively and defensively. So. It's tough to replace those guys, but it was a great ride while they were here.
Absolutely. And Coach, looking at your schedule this year, you start off with 5 teams. You didn't play last year. Well, you didn't play a non-conference schedule for one, but you got 5 teams on the schedule. You start off with John Glenn, then you go on the road for 2 with Waynedale and Dalton, and then you have TCC and Malvern in your crossover games. Talk about the first half of your schedule.
I think it'll prepare us for the tough IVC.
The gauntlet.
The gauntlet. And John Glenn, very good football team. Traditionally, I think 2017, they're in the finals, I believe, or the Final Four. Dalton's very good, a great tradition. Waynedale's, up and coming. And then you go to Central and Malvern, 2 very good crossover teams for us that will help prepare us for our gauntlet.
Yeah, and looking at that gauntlet, you start off that gauntlet with Claymont, then you have Indian Valley, Tusky Valley, Sandy Valley, and you finish up in West Lafayette in Week 10. Always a good game down there against Ridgewood and Coach John Slusser.
Yeah, we already said that's a gauntlet. IVC very strong. both sides very strong, some really good football coaches, some really good football teams. So, yeah, we're excited. We just hope to be in the mix somewhere at the end.
Sure. And obviously, we talked about the schedule. We talked about the new year. We talked about the losses on the field with the players. But you have some key returners coming back this year to help you get through that gauntlet and help you get through to the playoffs. Alexander Roden, Logan Yoder, J.D. Young, Brady Yoder, Jarrett Wallach, Sam Page, to name a few, all come back for that veteran crew that you were talking about.
Yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, it was good to get a lot of our younger kids experience last year, valuable game time. I think my staff has done a great job of getting some of those kids in, even when the game's close. So, we've got some returning starters back, both sides of the ball. They've got some experience, but we need to get our young kids, our inexperienced kids, up to par and ready to go, because right out of the gates, John Glenn comes here to the Hill and, it's going to present a challenge right away for us. So, it's good to know that we've got the experience back, but the inexperience is still the question mark. Even our experienced guys, a lot of our experienced guys are in new positions. They may move from outside backer to corner or safety down to outside backer.
Sure.
So, it's always a challenge year in, year out.
One of the smallest senior classes I can remember here at Garaway in a long time. I believe you only have 6 seniors, but what do they bring to this team?
Energy and leadership, and that's what we need to be successful. So they do. They all bring their own individual talents, and we have 6 of them. We have 6 really good ones that will be on the field somewhere at some point. And but yeah, energy, leadership. Those guys fly around. They lead by example, and it's a really good group to have.
Well, Coach, as always, man, thanks so much for letting us have access to your program and your team and you during practice time, getting the last few things in before the season starts. But thanks so much for allowing us to come out and enjoy some Garaway football this morning.
Hey, we really appreciate your guys' coverage and everything you guys do for us throughout the year, and you're welcome anytime.
Thanks again to Garaway head football coach Jason Wallach for joining us here on our Big Z Sports Two-A-Days, brought to you by Claxton Communications and Harrison Auto Parts here in Sugar Creek. I welcome back in Adam Soweski. And Adam, your thoughts on what Coach had to say about his team this year? He seems like he has a lot of excitement about this class, has a lot of talent, and he seems to be really excited.
And rightfully so. I mean, he's got those key returners you had mentioned to him. It was a small senior class that he graduated last year. So, yes, Garrett Newsom was a part of that, but it sounds like he's got a lot of excitement for the up-and-coming sophomores and juniors to the program. And it's always going to be difficult in that IVC, in the IVC conference that they play in. You guys referred to it as the gauntlet. Well, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Absolutely, and of course the Garaway Pirates, always great hosts here for Big Z Sports. We appreciate them. We love coming up to the Hill in Sugar Creek. For Adam Soweski, head coach Jason Wallach, I'm Joe Geckler. We'll talk to you next time around.